I want to say I haven't done this in a while, but literally it's been a few months and you easily forget how to be on a live, how to talk to like zero viewers and, you know, actually try and focus that conversation. So, oh, I've seen Alith's hair. Let me get you in.
You know me and tech, it's a thing. Hey!
Hi!
How are you doing?
I'm actually trying to cope up with this stuff here, to be honest. Because like, as you were already like mentioning, I did like, I just don't remember when I did the last time I just go live.
Yeah,
so,
you know what? It's so strange. You forget how to use a live. Like, literally, it was like maybe 2 months ago, and now I'm like, how do I go on? What if I have tech issues? I'm getting nervous about this. But yeah, very, very quick to forget.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for joining me. I'll give you a bit of an intro before we begin. And everyone who's joining this live, thank you so much for joining in. So I am Axel Hart. I'm an artist from London, and I started this series called Becoming the Artist last year to explore what it meant to become an artist. I came from a very different field and I knew nothing about music. So the purpose of that series of podcasts was to understand what a musician is like. So this time around, I've kind of changed up the script because I can say I'm an artist now. I have some music out, which you can check out on Spotify. But because of that, I wanted to know how to kind of stay in the game, what longevity means in an industry like this. And obviously that's a very difficult question to answer, but I have some talented, amazing friends who have had their own experiences, which I'd love to share in this series. So if you are new, please do go check out Become the Artist blog. You'll see a lot more content there coming soon. But today I am joined by the incredible producer and social media guru. I feel like I can say that. Alith, all the way from Germany. We haven't had a full-on conversation, so I'm so excited to have you on. But before we begin, let everyone know who you are, where you're from, and how long you've been doing music.
Of course, hello everyone. I mean, like as Axel was already like mentioning, my name is Alith. I'm just producing music under my artist name, Alith Berndarn. My real name is not Alith, it's Shervin, but like I'm just using this artist name as I feel more comfortable with it. I actually am Viennese native, now living in Hamburg in Germany, and I've been like doing music for like 10 years probably already.
That's incredible. A whole decade in music. I've got the right person to pick their brains on.
Of course, yeah,
so thank
definitely.
you so much for joining me. Well, before we get, because I know you have an EP out, and we'll talk about that in a second. I kind of want to talk a bit about the social media stuff, because we have mentioned it. We're both in that field. I used to be a social media manager for a different, a finance startup brand, so very different to what I'm doing here. But a lot of people are now trying to learn what this process is, and everyone's on it. Whatever industry you're in, they're trying to figure this out. So when it comes to like music and your creative experience in social media, what has been your experience around that, and any advice you would give to somebody who's just starting out?
Well, to be fair, I mean, like I was like doing social, I don't know. I just don't remember the first time I actually did that. I think like I got like for first time for using it for artist purposes, it was probably around like 2013 or something like that. And based on that, I was only like doing like this Facebook stuff where you were just like simply like posting around and doing like some advertising, like getting your friends together, join like a party, make some kind of not even like a watch party, we'll just like simply share out the link and everybody's like sharing it out, and based on that I was actually doing that. But on that, and also like after like a couple of while, it was based on also like the music blog that I actually was doing during that time. I think it was around 2015, where I actually just like started with a good friend of mine from the US music blog. It was mostly intended to like doing some kind of music and PR work. and I was just like it was really fun, and I actually did that for a while. And I mean, around that period as well, I just like accentuate or like improve my skills in social, due to just like trying things out, see what works well, what doesn't work well, and just like continue do it, like repeating all the time. It's like a steady process. You can't like really stop on that. So like was it in a future, or like let's say fast forward in the future, when I was like starting to like releasing stuff under this artist name, which was like 3 years ago, I hadn't like, I knew a couple of basics, what I need to just like think about once you like would like to just start with your game. And what I would like to just like say is, you need to keep up with the pace. You need to take a closer look what you like the most, what you like, what you feel comfortable the most. Some people just say like, okay, it starts also with the platform already, and you just simply think, okay, where should I, like, which platform is like the best one I can actually just try to work out. Some say Instagram, others say TikTok. And I'm just like saying like, just keep on trying out what works best for you, and keep on exploring, and then time will tell what works the best for you.
Yeah. You know what? I think it's so hard to like give anyone advice in that space, because it's so constantly moving. It's and
Yes.
especially music, right? We actually chatted on a post you shared before, on a specific, I don't know if I can say it on a live. It's a citrus fruit and the word wire, where people really explored music in a way that wasn't so legal, and it was very popular at the time. But even back to like cassettes and CDs, it moves so very quickly. Last year I kind of rejoined Facebook. I had deleted it for a year because I just didn't see the purpose. I went back and I was like, this is weird. Like, this doesn't feel like the same platform it was even a year or two ago. So it is hard, and it's so difficult to say like you can nail Instagram or TikTok, because even then things change. Instagram, for example, the algorithm has been a complete mess. So to give anyone advice on that is super difficult. But yeah, it's a good suggestion to figure out what works for you, what type of content you're trying to put forward.
Because like,
I tried TikTok and I was like, no. Yeah, sorry.
This is like what I was mentioning. Like, I'm not saying like do not try anything at all. Like out, like just see what works the best for you. If you say like Instagram works better for me, then go on Instagram. If you say like Twitter works best for you, just use Twitter. What the most difficult thing about is here, it's so individually. Like every person actually is like different, so you can't really like say, okay, if you want to do something that goes in that direction, make sure to use Instagram. No, it doesn't really, like, it really depends on the person that you are, what you like to showcase, and what your art is actually about.
Right. No, it's a fair point. But let's talk about your music. I think you have an amazing discography and also style, which I'll get to in a bit. But maybe talk through one piece of work that has made you super proud of what you've done. One piece of work that you can recall, like, actually, as a project as a whole, I'm happy with every element.
There are like a couple of tracks that I'm actually really proud of. But if I'm thinking about like one specific tune, it's probably will be Aftermath, because it also like means so much to me, and especially that track was made once I was like moving out from my home city and just like had like a fresh start in life, and hence based on that, also like the personal experience on it, it just feels like the right tune to actually mention here.
Yeah, no, I think also you can tell from your style of work, there's quite a lot of visual elements that are involved, particularly the recent work. I would say there's definitely a theme there, and a lot of the times that I've seen people who have been able to either explore different genres or different countries or different environments have been able to like create a blend. You know, part of this blog series was to look at R&B artists in particular, but not just R&B, because it's a very hard thing to say now, because not everyone's R&B. It's quite a crossover of different sounds. So do you think a background has influenced like part of this creativity and unique sound?
Couple of artists actually did that. I mean, like, just going to mention like some who actually inspire me as a musician, and also like from the visual side. I mean, like, if I like mentioning Bonobo, for example, he's actually from London, and I think he's still in London. And what actually mesmerized me about his style was he has like this ambient vibe in his tracks, and he perfectly blends it together with the visuals that he has. Like sometimes the visuals are not really that special, but in the combination with the track, it gets special, and you can just like simply immerse yourself inside of the tune, inside of the world that they actually created based on that track, and also like on the visuals. And this is what like really inspires me a lot. Another artist is probably, and I have to say that, is James Blake, and Always Stay. Like, I don't have to do an introduction about James Blake. I mean, like, if somebody doesn't know James Blake, oh geez, then make sure to check him out, because he is the guy. Yeah.
I think he's a very smart artist also. Like it's less about that surface level of music. You know, people are gonna like music, they're not gonna like music, but there's intricate details in the stuff, you know, in his project. Like if you listen back to some of his songs, just the way he layers vocals, or sometimes the instrumentals, there's things that you pick up and you're like, oh, cool. Like I wouldn't have picked that up on the first listen. So I definitely can see the influence that you mentioned, because a lot of the work that you do as well isn't in kind of like that ambient electronic crossover music, but also the visual collaboration with like what you do on your reels and putting your music pieces together. You definitely can see that. The other question I was going to ask you, because like I mentioned at the start of this live, was again, it's a very, very hard thing to answer, but you've now had a 10-year career, so I think it'd be interesting to see. You know, what would be something like any challenges you faced right at the start of your career that you aren't, you know, that in retrospect now you can look back and say, I'm not in that same position, and maybe what are the maybe challenges or benefits of being in the industry for 10 years? So it's almost like looking back, and what would you say to yourself then, and also like, damn, the problems don't end. what would be those things?
If I would like talk to my let's say myself from 10 years ago, I would definitely say to myself, like, don't stress yourself out on the sound that you're creating, because like around that time everybody was like, or like, I mean, like, it's a process, but still, like, a lot of people were like mentioning, oh, I actually found my sound already and I know what I'm actually gonna do. I mean, like, music has changed that much in like the last 10 years. It's really hard to like, let's say like at the end of the beginning that you're saying, okay, that's like my sound and it will stay like this forever. It actually has like evolved, and I would probably say like finding the right sound that actually portrays you the best was like the first issue I ever got. And I sometimes believe I still have, because like I'm like an explorer, and I'm just seeing myself not really as a, let's say, guru in music production, because like it is an ongoing process. You still like do like learning stuff from you. You just like continue improving yourself, and with that also like your sound. So that would be probably like my first ever issue I actually witnessed. And of course, like right now, if I'm just like taking a closer look to that, and the first problem that I'm having and I would like to like solve is making music sustainable. Because like right now, you're just like investing time, you're investing money. It's like the usual thing that like indie musicians tend to do, and are not really that signed on any label or whatever. You need to invest money. And you're just expecting to have like a profit probably in a couple of months or something like that, which is pretty unrealistic, to be fair. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it's really like luck that you're just able to like make it sustainable. But sometimes it takes a while. And I'm like right now in a process of like trying to make it more sustainable, because I would like to be able to like say I can also have like an income based on the music that I do. Because right now I'm having that, but it's not that enough to say like it's sustainable. And hence that's like the most, let's say, like the biggest issue that I got right now.
Yeah, I think, it is a bit of a catch-22, right? You need to fully commit to your craft by investing into it. But then at the
Yeah,
same time, it takes a while to recoup that. So it's a bit like
yeah,
an investment in the finance terms. It's a
yes.
risk. It's always a risk.
It's
It
a
will
risk,
work for
yeah.
some, it won't work for others. You may get some of
Mm,
your money back. You may make 100 times what you've made, but you don't
mm,
know. So it is very hard. And I think just to touch on the point about trying to figure out your sound, I think as a baby artist, as an early artist in the game, it's hard. It's so hard, because one of the things I think that is a challenge is when you're doing anything creative, you're putting yourself out there. Like it's
mm,
part of, it's not my CV. My CV speaks for itself, it's
yep.
facts. I worked in this place, I had this degree, it's facts.
Hmm.
When it comes to
Yep.
creative work, it's open to opinions. So I think that is the challenge you have to
Yes.
face, because you're second guessing every single thing. This live, did I do it right? Did I ask the right question? My
Yeah.
music, have I released it in the right way? It's a lot of like opinions. So I think that's a big challenge that a lot of artists face, particularly early on in their career. I think,
Yes.
and that's maybe the element of missing the sound. Like, oh, I don't know what I want to do because I'm afraid to try
Yeah.
something different. You know.
That is like also like my
In
first advice. It's like when people are like starting around, do not really reduce yourself. Keep on exploring. Keep on
Yeah.
experimenting with yourself, like with your style, your music, and see what you like the most, and see what actually fits you as a human being. Like when you're creating art. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think another piece of advice, if I could give anyone watching, is even your collaborations and the people that you work with. A lot of the times, sometimes you get comfortable with like that one. Like when I first started, I got really comfortable with one producer, recorded loads of tracks, and we had a formula of how it worked. But doing that was also quite detrimental, because I wasn't able to explore like what is collaborating in a different way, and how do you
Yes.
work if they're not used to your sound or whatever it is. So
Mm.
I think that's another thing I would recommend, because it's easy to suddenly say, okay, I'm just gonna explore music, go to a producer, record everything I need to record, and then you're like, fuck,
Totally.
what if they
Yeah.
stop? So that would be another piece of advice. The other question I wanted to ask you, and let's get to your EP, because I think your EP is amazing, first of all. So if you are
Appreciate
tuning
it.
in, please do go check it out, because I think you're an incredible, very unique artist. I think you check your profile, you check your sound. I can't really, like, I can connect it and relate it to other artists out there, but there's not many. So please do go check that out. So it's called Outside the Box. Let's talk about that. Because one of the things I was watching on your profile, you mentioned the EP is talking about the loss of love. So talk to us a little bit more about that, and where the process came from.
So I mean, like as I was like, if we were speaking about that, I mean, like in last year I was doing some kind of like experimental EP. There was mostly like remixing old tracks that I really like released like probably like 2020. It was like one thing that I was like working on. The other thing was like this actually came right pretty spontaneously, the Outside the Box EP, and the whole theme of like losing somebody who you love is really I mean, like it's really heartbreaking on the one side, but it's also like pretty interesting, like how like every person's like trying to like process these things. And I actually wanted to like do like an EP based on that theme, and that was like the whole idea behind it. Try to like be not only like in my position, like representing my position about that, but also like I was like talking to a lot of people, what they actually like experienced, how actually they felt, and what their thoughts about an EP that was like just like trying to describing that feeling, or like that processing, that mental processing that you're having during that period. And as I was thinking, probably at first, like maybe it's just like a lot of people are just not going to like the idea, because it's really something pretty sensitive. It's really personal. And but on the other side, like I was pretty like impressed that a lot of people said like, please go ahead, do it, because like it's really a great thing to like try to write down the emotions musically. And this is what I like to do, to write it down, or like to like try to convey the feeling based on the visuals that I made, and also like the music that is like right behind it as a background, to like try to create these okay during that. I mean, like it sounds okay. That sounds actually pretty dumb, but I mean, like it's more about like the like bringing up the raw emotions that are like during that process. And a lot of people also like ask me if it's like personal. Not really. Just like I'm pretty interested like in the experiences of other people, and I'm always like keen to like talk about it, because talking or like trying to exchange thoughts with other people helps you a lot during this period. Because like I witnessed it a lot of many times in my when my friends were like having issues with their loved ones. And this is like really something that I actually always wanted to do, and I felt like it was the right period to do it.
Yeah, no, I think that's interesting, because a lot of the times we use music as a bit of a therapeutic tool, whether it is that deep or not, and based off our friends' experience, you know, or work colleagues or whatever. I think that's quite interesting that you mentioned that. You do also talk about how it's helped you clear your mind and address situations in your life a little bit more clearly. So I think one of the things that keeps coming up for a lot of people just in general in life is mental health. And it's nice that you've kind of taken thought outside the box for this EP to discuss some of the elements of mental health. I personally have, over the past like few months, have kind of had a bit of a wobble, trying to figure things out, trying to get back on my feet. And music is one of those things that I think as an artist also, it helps you kind of deal with situations, like when you're expressing and writing things down. Whether it's deep or not, whether it's like, oh, I'm just stressed at work, I need to write something down, it's cool. Have you got into songwriting a little bit more, like over this process, or have you ever been into like full-on writing? Because I know you do a lot of production, but as an artist, have you tried to go that route?
Like trying to like implement it even like a little bit more than I was used to like do it like beforehand. And I'm still I'm keen to like learn it even more and like do it better, because you can just like even say like it's way more personal. I mean, like right now when I'm thinking about like the casual things that I produce, and I'm not saying like collaborations that I made, it's more likely like some vocal chops. They were like, processed all together. These vocal chops can be like from good friends of mine, or like from just like, I don't know, just going to mention a company, Splice. But I mean, like, you just like, I'm using those ones to like try to create like an emotion on that. But I'm definitely keen to like work and continue working on my songwriting abilities. But it's like a long process, and I'm keen for that. I'm not really shy about it, but I'm not going to release a track right now with my writing skills, because I think a lot of people would say like, Come back like in 5 years.
No. I mean, you know what? It's now or never, right? It's put the stuff out, and see what happens. With this new EP, have you gone like, how would you describe this being different to everything that you've done before? Like, the music that you've put out, it does have a common thread. I think that there's quite a, you have your style, your vibe, which it does follow onto this EP. Do you think this is different? Like, how is it different?
It is different because like I'm not telling stories only by myself. I'm like portraying like stories from other people as well. Because like if I'm going back in the past, for example, the Lucid Sand EP, it was like also like personal reasons I wrote that EP. Or like before, like my initial EP that was released, I think like even like 2018-19, Mercurial Influx. There was also some kind of trying to like cope up or like deal with things that happened in the past. And this one is like more not really only about me. It's about the feeling, the emotions from the experiences that people had. So that's like one direction. Another thing is the whole thing, like the whole EP, is a bit more up tempo than my usual stuff. Because like I mean like I'm listening privately to UK music. I'm listening quite frankly that much to like UK garage and electronica, and you see like the tempo is way higher. And if you're just like taking a closer look back, the usual tempo that I'm releasing is like a bit slower. So that was like another aspect, but more likely it's just about the story of people, not only about me.
Right. Yeah, no, that's really cool. I'm glad the UK has had some influences. I think garage actually itself has inspired me a lot, and very uniquely British, I think, compared to a lot of other genres out there. What else can we expect this 2022? I'm sure you have some amazing projects upcoming. Is there something you can share with our audience? Is there some cool stuff that we can expect from you?
I mean, like, should I say it? I don't know. I mean, like, I'm already like in the works of a new EP that actually is going to come out this year, and there's like a person in this room who is also going to be part of it. I'm not going to mention his name, but you can like expect to have like an amazing EP coming out with a lot of like it's more like a concept EP where I'm just like was collaborating with artists that I love to work with, but I couldn't like manage to get this on time, but now finally we made it. And this will be out this year. And then like a couple of singles that I'm also like working on, promising collabs as well. But nice. I'm definitely keen to like things going and just like start to finalize everything to just put it out. Yep.
That's so
and
also, I was kind of like avoiding saying it, but then I was like, now that he's mentioned it, I got a sneak peek of some of the tracks off the EP, and they're incredible, and the artists that you've collaborated with are amazing. So I'm excited for that. The visual elements you've mentioned, are you going to do like full-on videos, music videos in the future? Are you going to like tease us on Instagram a little bit more before you release like an album and more videos?
Probably I'm just going to like do it in the same perspective as I would like do it in the same style as I was doing it right now. But I'm just thinking maybe probably like to level up it a bit, just like to collaborate with video producers, because like the videos right now, I'm like producing that by myself, and that takes a while. And it would be pretty interesting to like collaborate with other video producers on that. So that's like a thing that I'm actually eager to do. But I mean, like, it's still like in a working process. I haven't decided yet what exactly I would like to do on it, but I keep you updated on it.
Yeah, excited for it. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this live. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and I'm so excited to follow your journey. Congrats on the EP as well. Please, if you are
Appreciate you.
tuning in, please do go check it out. It's amazing. Actually, check out all his EPs because they're all actually incredible. So go check out all his music.
Actually, check out this guy as well.
Thank you. Go. Where can we find you? So on socials. So on Instagram, Spotify. Give us your socials.
Yep. I mean, like, you can either like go to my website, alithberndarn.com, or you can simply go to on my Instagram profile, which is called This Is Alith Berndarn, which is like written all together. And there's also like the same URL, like the same ID on every social, except if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Twitter probably, which is like a bit different. But you can find me on the Alith Berndarn, and I'm like the only profile, so it's just really easy to like find.
Just easy. Perfect. So if you are watching back, I will put this all in the description on YouTube and on Instagram. So again, thank you so much, Alith, and yeah, excited to follow your musical journey. Here's to 10 more years in the industry.
Appreciate you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
No, thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
We're both struggling to turn it off.
Where is it actually? I don't know. Oh, there.
Oh, there we go. Okay.